Today, on the Terrible Warriors, return to Symbaroum. This is part 4 of our series, so if you don't want to feel utterly lost in our collaborative story, you may want to go back to the start of this season. Don't worry, we'll still be rolling the dice when you get back. This episode includes content from the Promised Land adventure included in the core rulebook of Symbaroum, so if you don't want to be spoiled on who is holding which secrets from whom, consider this your spoiler alert. Of course, if you do wish to be spoiled because you may want to run this game perhaps, we're giving away a free copy of Symbaroum every month during the release of this story. And congratulations to Malia Farrow, who is the winner of our September giveaway. We'll be in touch with you soon with a code to DriveThruRPG. To find out how you can enter the raffle for October, visit terriblewarriors.com. This campaign is made possible by listeners just like you, who've decided to support us through Patreon at patreon.com/terriblewarriors. Listeners like Natalie Axelson, Jared Cherney, Lily Mills, Aguan, and Ben Eastman. Find out how you can become a supporter and receive advanced episodes of our Symbaroum campaign at patreon.com/terriblewarriors. Now, the confessions have been made. Bellin and Ludo are horribly corrupted, with darkness growing inside of them, and the Iron Pact is closing in on their scent. But what are their demands, and what will our travelers do if the cost of this Iron Pact is too high to pay? This is part 4 of Symbaroum, The Choice. It is spoken of in legend that long ago, as Symbaroum crumbled into oblivion, the elves made an agreement with the human lords that no human would ever set foot inside the forest of Davokar, and in doing so, spread the darkness that seeped from old Symbaroum. The agreement was made with the human lords leaving a gift to seal the treaty: 6,000 rings of iron. And thus, the Iron Pact was born. What exactly the Iron Pact is, or how useful such an alliance can be, remains debated among the circles of the Queen's advisors and the masters of the Ordo Magica. But one thing is clear: be they Ambrian or a barbarian of the clans, should you be charged with breaking the Iron Pact, the punishment is almost certainly death. When morning comes, the storm subsides, but the situation is far from ideal, and it's doubtful if the caravan can continue as the snow lies deep across the plateau. As we move into the center of the corral, a brawling discussion has erupted between Telk and others in the group who would rather not risk getting stuck on the road. Lestra and Bellin and Ludo are over on their side of the tent. The three of you are on yours. Doesn't look like Vert has slept at all. Argosto's working with the other coach riders like Telk to see what can be done about moving the wheels and digging the snow out. And Telk is trying to explain to Argosto, like, these things aren't moving, not with the snow. We're going to have to wait for a thaw, or we'll have to dig our way out, and it could be another day before we can get moving. And Argosto's like, Telk, we don't have another day. That storm last night, that was not natural. We have to get going. We need to be in Ambria. You know, because, like, I got it, boss. And he heads up to his caravan, and he starts ordering some of the other, like the mule runners, like Keller was, out into the snow to start digging tracks so they can start getting the wagons moving. Meanwhile, in the center of camp, Lestra is examining Ludo's stigmas and making notes and seeing and asking a lot more questions. Now that Ludo has confessed what's going on, asking more questions about when did you notice these wounds? And the creepy Dr. Evil vibe she was giving the first night at the campfire, she's got a really good bedside manner here. There's almost a sense of sympathy that she has for Ludo and Bellen's predicament. And she's writing down notes. She's got some salves that she has going like, this won't help, but it will ease the itching, she says. And Bellen is much less communicative. He's complaining of a headache and sitting around. He's just not wanting to talk. And he's like, Ludo, you shouldn't have told them all that. We're going to be in trouble now, Ludo. He's like, Bellen, we couldn't just keep running. Can't you see how bad things are getting? Could it really have all just been from that skull? And Lester's like, I don't know. I'd need to see it to study it. Where was it last? Thistlehold. We ran. We don't even know where it is. Do you know where it is, Bellen? I don't care where it is. I think it can rot in the ground for all I care.
Elendra's going to have her own notebook out with her, and she's going to be recording notes as she listens in on this conversation about what has happened and what it's causing.
It's okay. The Titan Mountains are a third-party state, so you're allowed to record without other people's consent and knowledge, just like California.
Beautiful.
Hey?
She if they look like, she's not standing super far away from them. She's not trying to hide it. She's just very curious, but not interrupting.
Bartolom comes up beside, and he's also writing things down, going like, this is pretty crazy, isn't it? I always told them, old Bartolom, one day you're going to come across some people right before they turn into Blightborn. Have you ever seen what happens when someone finally gets fully corrupted? They say their skin turns inside out and they turn into abominations.
I know, actually, abominations are my point of study. I can't believe that I've never seen it actually, before it happens. I've, in fact, never actually seen a real abomination.
This might be just the thing that old Bartolom needs to get moved up into his Order of Wizard. Did I tell you I'm with the Order of Magicae? I'm a wizard. He starts writing things down.
I didn't know you concerned yourself with abominations there.
Well, we have our own tradition. It's a more refined version of that primitive practice of the witches.
Oh, I'd be really interested in learning more.
With a earshot of Verd.
It's just gonna kill everyone.
What are the witches?
Oh, I think he's one. The barbarians back in the Davokar forest, they have a primitive understanding of magic and the arcane, and they've worked it all with a lot of taboos and superstitions. But the wizards, we try to extract the science from it all.
Have we seen Verd use magic? I don't think the spells Verd has used have all been sort of
they've
covert.
all been passive. Yeah, they've all been things like
we didn't notice that he used it.
Oh, so maybe he doesn't point to Verd then. I'll rewind that. I'll take that back. Bartolom might not know that Verd is a witch. I mean, you're dressed like a witch.
Yeah, he's still dressed as a witch.
This is just Elendra being dumb.
And back in the caravan, the first night, he did use a spell that Argosto noticed, where you took the wounds from Yandrame, so that Yandrame wouldn't have first blood in that fight.
Yeah, and I think he said he's a witch a few times.
Yeah, I don't think you were shy about it.
Okay, Elendra just didn't really pick it up. So does that mean you can use magic, Verd?
He just stares back at you. You can't just stick staring. It's an audio podcast. That's just silent dead air. You have to then say, I sit there staring.
Yeah, he's just staring at you. Just.
That's really amazing. We should talk about this, actually. Oh my gosh, and Bartolom, you have a totally different... Maybe we should do a study between the two of you.
Bartolom kind of blushes. I mean, when we get to the other side of the Titans, I could show you the chapter house that I do all of my soil samples in.
Oh my goodness, I would love that. That'd be so interesting. Do you have a lot of books there?
I have so many books.
Oh my god.
Bartolom walks away with yes, I got this.
Yandrame walks up behind Verd and just puts his hand on his shoulders. Did you sleep at all, friend?
No.
I mean, he's not looking great, right?
Yeah, he's super tired. He's probably drinking brown potion.
Did you get any sleep?
None at all.
It would seem that now more than ever would be a time we need to rest.
Now more than ever, we need to be vigilant.
Just as you say that, Telk was up on the caravan looking down at the mule riders. He yells out, Elves! I think I see elves! There are elves coming!
Oh no. Perhaps we should talk with them.
No, all the talking. Lestra leaves Ludo and Bellin down. It moves over. Anyone who heads over to where Telk's caravan is, and even just looking through, like there's the way the corral is built is you've got like 6 of these wagons, and they're set in like a circle formation with the campfire in the center of the circle. And between the gaps of the wagons, barrels and crates have been placed to create barricades, and tent material has been put down to hold, like, so that the wind is blocked. So you're in this like walled castle that you've created in the center of this wagon. So Telk's on top of the wagon, so anyone wanting to look around would actually have to climb up the wagons or peer through the barricades in between the wagons. So where do you go to get a look after Telk cries out, "Elves, I see elves coming"?
Viert would move forward.
Elendra's not moving. She's sort of watching everyone and is overwhelmed.
Yeah, you're just staying by the campfire.
Mm-hmm.
Yandrame?
He's getting ready to, what direction does it look like the elves are coming from?
It looks like they're coming from ahead the road where the mule drivers were digging into the snow.
So he's going to head in that direction.
They're heading from the north, and they're heading south towards you.
So he's going to head north toward the north end of the camp to try and...
So anyone who's like on the wagon or looking through, you see 2 figures walking out of the still, like the snow, it's not clear, like the sky isn't blue, it's overcast, the snow is still falling, but it's falling lightly like a winter morning. And you see coming out of the wintry fog 2 shapes. The 2 elves walk up quietly to the edge and then come to a stop before reaching the actual wagons. And the taller one, with hands clasped in front of him, softly says, "I am Godry, and this," he motions to the silent one to his side, "is Saranri. We have come for the ones named Bellin and Ludo."
Oh no.
And Tel calls out, What do you want with Bellin and Ludo?" "They have violated the treaties. They have tunneled too deep into the soil of old Davokar and are blight-stricken and must be purged."
Well, at least they want to talk. I was right.
Does anyone want to respond before I continue with my NPCs?
I mean, Viert is just like looking over at the 2, more than willing to hand them over.
Argasto has climbed up beside Talc, puts his hand on his shoulder, going like, "I'll handle this." Argasto looks down. "I'm the owner of this caravan, and everyone in this camp is under my protection. I'm not handing them over to you or to anyone. If you have words with them, you can wait until we're in Yandera." Godry's companion begins whispering something into their ear. "Anyone who has a vigilant roll with the ability of Lore Master
crap.
will pass a cunning test to hear what's going on."
Wait, you have to have Lore Master?
No. That's one of the abilities that you don't have.
Yeah.
So you're not able
There is.
We're all regretting it.
And Godry then says, "Enough. I will have these 2. Blood will flow if you refuse. We return at sundown." And he and his companion move away.
Baird, what is it about the Iron Pact that means that they have to kill these 2?
They protect the Davokar forest and the things that lie within it, ancient things.
Argasto actually brings you, Verd, as like, you seem to know what you're talking about. You knew. How concerned should we be?
Very. We don't know how many of the Iron Pact are here.
You're gonna protect us though, right? Says Ludo, and at this point Lestra speaks up. "Let us put these brothers in shackles. Let us take them to the monastery of the Twilight Friars, where we will care for them if they are sick. We want to know what this is. We cannot just hand them over to the elves and lose what we could learn from them."
Could we not perhaps make that sort of bargain for them with the elves?
Yeah. Take us with the Twilight Friars. I surrender. He puts his hands out to Lestra.
The Iron Pact doesn't care for Ambrian ways.
Yeah, Telk speaks up. "Barbarian's right. I'm not putting my life on the line for 2 idiots who stole some skull from some old forest. I say we hand them over to the elves and get on with our journey.
I agree.
And Argosto's like, we can't just hand people over for summary execution just because of the word of two strangers. That's not how we do things.
That is not.
They should have informed us of their predicament before taking this passage.
Ludo loudly proclaims, I vote that we don't go with the elves. And Bellin mutters some, agreement behind that.
Maybe they won't kill them, though. Maybe they'll take them and do something like the Twilight people.
Well, better them than me, says Telk.
The laws of Prios were not founded on just caving to violence.
Well,
But there are laws concerning Prios, and these two have violated the laws of the Iron Pact.
Lestra hears what you're saying, Andrame, and tries to lean into your spirituality. Prios, the order, the one, and the giver of laws, wants the corrupted brought to Ambria, where my brothers and sisters will care for them. And she's saying that kind of backing up on what you just said, Andrame, but also to the group to try and get them to calm down, because they're right now leaning with Telk to be like, throw them to the wolves. And Lestra is like, we don't just throw people to the wolves. We can care for the sick. That is all they are. Sick.
but if we keep them, then what does that mean for the caravan?
You heard Ludo's story. No crime was committed.
It was a
They
crime.
passed a skull around a campfire.
Whether they knew it or not.
The crime committed was by those who ran their group. They were just hired to lead the way.
It is unfortunate, but it is a crime nonetheless.
Were they informed that it was a crime? I saw no laws posted.
Crimes do not have to be posted for it to be a crime. It's an old pact.
What a terrible system. No wonder we need to bring civilization to these lands.
Corruption and darkness doesn't care for your ignorance.
Regardless, we either lay down our lives for these two fools, or we give them up.
Is there a chance we could outrun them and just,
No.
if we get the...
Not
This
with this
weather
caravan.
is created by them. Who knows whatever other magic they might employ.
Taking in the crowd, it's split evenly between those who are siding with Lestra and those who are siding with Telk. Argosto is trying to keep order between them. So the debate the three of you are currently having is going to be reflected among the NPCs. Whatever you decide will tip the balance on whether or not you decide to defend Bellin and Ludo or hand them over
Androme,
for extradition to the elves.
if we give them Bellin and Ludo, then they will die. But if we don't, who knows how many of us will die? Who knows how many of the elves will die? That seems... In terms of life, it just seems logical.
I heard them whispering, says Lestra. I heard what they said. They will kill this entire expedition if they come for Bellin and Ludo. They won't leave any of us. They cannot believe and trust that any of us have not been corrupted by merely being in their presence. Handing them over will not keep any of you safe. Who has... Vigilant is what you would do to catch through a lie, right?
Yeah,
I feel like
vigilance
that,
against
yeah.
discreet. What's the modifier?
There is no modifier.
Okay.
Success for me.
Nope.
Oh no.
Baird, you got a success?
Yeah.
Lestra is doing what it takes to win the crowd over, but she is not telling the truth about what the elves whispered to each other.
Yeah, Vierd will.
But because none of you had Lore Master, she gets to use
Yeah,
that
Vierd
option
will
to help in the
whisper
debate.
to the male Ambrian this fact. Not himself, not willing to step up just because he's a barbarian in this weird place.
Elendra totally fucking buys it. She's like,
Because I bought it too, yeah.
oh no, maybe then we should.
Nothing like playing into human fears of elven prejudice, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
What makes you think they're lying, Veerd? Or she's lying?
The way they twitch, a slight shifting of their eyes.
The way
Ambrians.
The way
have a
her
way of
Schitt's
lying.
Creek accent drops in and out of the performance.
Exactly. It's very suspicious.
So you don't believe the elves would actually murder us all either way?
No, I don't.
Especially recognizing them as summer elves. They're not as dogmatic as the autumn elves, and they're not as fickle and unpredictable as the spring elves. Summer elves tend to be, for one, they make up the majority of their army. And for the other, they tend to be more conservative in approach when they're making public entries like this. Well, Ergosto looks to the three of you going, "You've handled yourselves up here better than I could ever have imagined. I think we can all agree in this camp that we trust you to do what's right for the safety of this caravan. What do you think we should do?"
I cannot in good conscience condone handing these men over to a fate unknown, but I also believe my companion that the entire caravan is not necessarily in danger. Should we do so?
I think if we're looking at numbers of lives, it makes sense to turn over the two of them.
That's wise.
Lestra would very much like for you to turn the two of them over to the custody of the Black Cloaks.
That would be my preference.
We wouldn't even have to continue all the way to Yonderos. Their monastery is just on the other side of here on the Titans.
We won't make it.
Well, can the Black Cloaks speak to the elven people on our behalf?
We made it against just fine against that elf you fought earlier yesterday.
That was one.
And this is two.
Who knows if there's more?
That is their strength. They can pretend there are more.
We're a long way from Davokar. That might be all that was here. If they wanted to show a force in numbers, they would have done so this morning.
They have a witch with them as well.
So do we.
And we have a priest, a wizard, a black cloak, and at least a dozen or so strong and abled coach riders.
It's foolish. People will die.
Yeah, no,
People always die.
what if we don't turn them over and then we can't even continue? We'll never get to see our parents again. We have a goal to get over the mountain here, and
we still have time. They might turn into an abomination any of these days.
We will handle that if it comes up. But
No,
the light of
you'll
civilization, abominations are what the light of Prios is meant to destroy.
Have you fought an abomination?
Can't be worse than the undead we faced the other day.
It's horrific compared to that. That was a summer breeze upon your cheek.
Alendra, your beast lore, you are an adept in fighting abominations. You've read all about them. You've seen the pictures, you've seen the schematics, you've read the wiki.
yeah.
Yeah.
Elendra's just been like, she never thought she'd actually in her life be able to see someone who's in the process of becoming an abomination, and maybe even could be one. But now she's very upset. She's clearly leaning towards Vaird's idea, but she doesn't want to go against her brother.
Go against your brother.
Androme.
No, he can't.
Well, I can't tell you what to do. This is one of the things I love about Symbaroum, is at this point, we're off the rails.
Yeah.
The choice is yours to make, not mine. And there is no wrong
Answer. Yeah.
decision here.
My problem is like Yandrame would be so morally opposed to this.
Oh no, it's fine. This is the problem
Yeah.
is that.
Yeah, and this is a thing that both Yandrame and Vare,
They are really.
you two need to settle this.
Yeah.
You need to decide what hill are you going to die on here. I mean, part of Verde, I think, at the same time, this is an Ambrian caravan. If they want to be Ambrians and just be stupid fucking idiots, then maybe it's time for boy and girl to learn a
Yeah,
lesson.
I mean, in the end, he has to go with the flow. However, he brings these two
Yeah.
Ambrians over.
The female and the male Ambrian are going to make the bad call, and you're going to be there to return their remains to their parents.
I did my best. They playing with abominations.
So I think you're seeing that like the scales have tipped in favor of Yandrame and Lestra, and even to a lesser degree, Alindra is just you want to back up your brother, right? And so it sounds like the group is leaning in favor of
Protecting them.
rejecting the elves' offer, protecting Bellin and Ludo, and most likely handing them over to the Twilight Friars.
Yeah, I'm going to look at the male Ambrian.
Because you can't just let people with 9 corruption just walk around.
No. Like, that's where we're all in
But
agreement.
it's a matter of, are they sinners that deserve death, or are they sick who deserve treatment?
Yeah, Vierd will provide one final argument to the male Ambrian.
Okay.
If at the end of this, you're holding the dead corpse of your sister, torn apart by your choices here and now, you're going to look back at this moment and you're going to regret every day that follows it. Just remember that, because that is very likely. You might wake up in the middle of the night to having your sister's belly split open, the gnashing of claws and teeth, her lifeblood spilt upon the snow, and she'll never see this promised land.
But is that not the fate of these 2 men if I don't intervene?
Who do you love more?
Can I in good conscience let 2 men who've done nothing more wrong than touch an artifact?
I guess that's for you and your conscience. Which is most important to you, and which can you live with? I'll leave it to you. Male Ambrian. And he'll pat him on the back. He'll smoke his pipe.
Okay. Whoa.
Got shivers over here.
I feel like Vered was speaking from experience there.
Yeah, that's
Tell me more about the source of those nightmares and addiction of yours.
there might be a reason he smokes that pipe.
Oh God.
Okay, so it's been decided then.
We're gonna protect them?
We are going to... We have chosen for combat.
Okay.
We've chosen death.
I like it.
I should have picked a different character.
All right, we've decided. Sundown, we fight. And he starts ordering around to, like, build up the defenses of the caravan, start making sure everyone's got weapons and arms. If you've got anything in your belongings, now's the time to bring it out. These elves are dangerous, Lester says. Godry is a summer elf in full bloom, and the younger one is a summer elf skilled in battle.
We will be ready.
A small question. I have Medicus at novice, and it says that as a clever surgeon, the character can make a test against cunning to heal 1d4 or 1d6 when using an herbal cure. Is there something like gathering herbs that Elendra could do before we get to sunset in preparation possibly for doing medicine?
Yes.
Okay. So Elendra's going to spend the day and she's going to go and be like, memorizing, okay, you want to use wormwood for this and you want to do this. And then she's like chatting to herself as she like gathers herbs.
I kind of assumed you already have this on you
Sure. Okay.
before we went on the trip, because I'm not gonna let you have abilities that you can't use.
Right.
Right? Like, if you use up your abilities, like this addiction that Vered has is supposed to cost him a shilling a day. So eventually he's gonna run out of money, and then he's gonna have to find out where he's getting his addiction satiated. But if everyone at least is gonna start with the ingredients they need to at least be able to do everything once. And then if things get broken or lost, then we go from there.
Okay. Perfect.
Yandrome is going to pray to Prios and pray that he's made the right decision, because he's not 100% certain that he did, but the die is cast.
Dead sister.
So all of the members of the caravan are around their wagons when they've got like spears. A few of them have swords. Some of them have arrows for hunting. They're all nervous and they're keeping an eye out. The light begins to fade. The snow has been coming down softly all day, and there's still like that fresh powder everywhere. And then you start hearing the hoof prints walking its way through the snow and coming out of the haze, riding on a huge elk. Godry appears. And just as he gets just out of range, he dismounts off of the elk and pats on it, and it turns and it walks back out into the fog. And then just as he does that, walking in and then transforming into a Beamon, which is kind of like a boar or like a bear.
Yeah, it's
form.
I think it's used by one of the barbarian clans.
Yeah. The other summer elf, the younger one, transforms and then stands beside Gaudry.
Can I do my roll on this transformed creature?
Yeah, it's a beast lore, so it'd be you're just looking for like their cultural characters.
I'm like just getting really unlucky. I did not make that. It's just against my cunning. Oh, it is against my cunning, right? So it's
Yes.
Never mind, I did make it a 14.
Hey.
Thank God I have a high cunning.
Mm-hmm.
So they are an elf of early summer,
Mm-hmm.
and a Beamon is a bear with claws with armor of bear skin. So they attack with claws.
Cool.
Want to fight a bear.
They have an ability of Iron Fist. Their resistance is considered ordinary. So, like 2 of you could probably take them on.
Okay. She's going to whisper this knowledge.
The late summer elf, Gaudry, is going to be much more challenged. He's equipped with a bow and sword and a lacquered silk cuirass. So he's got a little bit more armor on him.
Okay. Alinder will sort of like whisper this to Verdun and Deandrome.
Gaudry calls out, says exactly what he said earlier this morning. We're here for the ones named Bellin and Ludo. Hand them over. This will be your final warning.
With our sincerest apologies, we cannot. We will take care of them. They will be dealt with, but not by your hand. Please leave peacefully.
Gaudry looks down at the other elf that's turned into the Beamon. Saranri, recover our quarry. And as the bear charges forward towards the caravan, we will look to our initiative rolls.
I regret everything.
Ludo and Bellin are in the center of the camp going, I regret everything.
Love a fight where all players hate that they're doing it. Not
Yeah, I was like, we don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Can we just go pick flowers?
So the bear is charging towards Telk's caravan, who is keeping our lookout. And it jumps onto the side, parkours off of it, leaps over Telk. Telk has got the spear and kind of goes up, and it completely dodges the attack, and it lands in the center of the camp. There's Ludo and Bellin over at the far side of the campfire with Lestra standing between them, just like they were the other day with the wolf. And Bellin is like, no. He's just muttering to himself, and Ludo is like, he's finding his axe and being like, it's okay, Bellin, it's okay. They're gonna look after us.
Aww.
We're gonna be okay. At this point, his shirt's been like taken apart because Lestra's been looking at him, and you just see his whole body is covered in sores. He's like a leper.
Oh God.
And Bellin isn't talking as much anymore. He's just like going, no. Patron saint, what do you do?
I kind of look at the ghostly outline of this saint, which I guess is probably pretty bright now, considering there's 2 elves attacking us.
Oh, and with the failing light, now we're fighting like just at sundown. It's getting darker. Where the patron saint moves, shadows go everywhere. It's glowing brightly. And I remember I said it was glowing brightly from the direction of where danger was, right? Okay, this time it's just glowing brightly from all directions.
Oh, great. So there's a look, a nod, and it charges after the bear.
Okay, so roll your accurate.
Okay. No modifiers or
There's a modifier, -1.
-1? Okay. So I need 12 or under.
I'm imagining as we're when we travel, the spirit will sometimes like have a little flare of glow as like Veerd imagines killing like oh man, that would make everything so much easier. Like nothing in true like nothing too sincere, but it's just
but just a little flicker.
yeah.
I like it.
I like it a
So
lot.
I rolled a 5, so I definitely hit. So D6. 2. That's probably not even going to get through armor.
A 2? No, it doesn't get through the armor. It's just flailing and attacking, but taking its attention away from the other 2. After that, it's Elindra's turn.
Oh, Alindra has like been trying to mentally steel herself. She has out her pike and she's going to step forward and go to stab the bear thing. The Beamon.
With your pike?
With my pike.
Yep. Accurate roll.
6, so I do it.
Hey!
Yes, you do.
And 1d8.
That's a 1d8.
That's a 1.
That's a 1. So same deal. Like you get in for the attack, and you're not really committing to the thrust because you're at the same time. Then you look at it, you're just like, oh, it's just a cute bear, and you just kind of get out of here, and you just poke at it, but not enough to like break skin or do any damage. Go, get! And you're just kind of smacking it like you're hitting, like your pike is the end of a broom handle.
Trying to scare him off from camp. Oh boy.
It's still an elf.
And Ludo, he got his axe out and he sees this fight going on with the bear, and he sees Lester standing there, and he looks over at Ludo, and Ludo is he's not gone, or Bellin has not gone for his axe, and Ludo's like, hey Bellin, it's okay, buddy. They're gonna look after us. Hey, something's not right.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Baird's turn.
We're in trouble.
Darn it. Looking after the male and female Ambrians, he is going to shoot at the bear. The bear.
The bear.
The bear. What's the modifier again?
-1.
Okay. Yeah, the shot barely like maybe like get some hair and then smacks.
Yeah, you're
into
keeping
the...
like you're shooting, but you're also keeping one eye on this whole Ludo Bellin thing, and you're like, you guys. Sarah Henri wants to push off from the patron saint and move around the fire towards Bellin and Ludo. So it will swipe at the patron saint and then disengage and move away from it.
Okay.
So no, it can do even better. It can spend 2 movement actions to avoid. No, that would be if it was passing by. Actually, we're within
It's
melee
engaged.
range. So it's engaged. So it's going to attack, and then it's going to move back, and then that'll give patron saint another attack on it. It has claws, and it attacks against the patron saint's defense. So you're rolling 14 under.
Okay. 12.
Okay, and the patron saint just swipes through because it's like this non-corporeal thing, and it backs off around it starts moving towards Bellin and Ludo around the campfire. With that, the patron saint can take a swipe at it.
Cool.
It moves away.
Accurate -1. So. Nope. That's a swing and a miss.
No, it's things are moving a little bit too fast there for the patron saint. Godry's turn. You see up on the caravan a couple of the caravan coachmen, and Telk takes an arrow in his shoulder and falls off the top of the caravan and lands on the ground as Godry climbs above, and you just see kind of silhouetted from the failing sundown light and the snow, and then the light shining up underneath from the campfire in the center of camp, the blowing cloak of Godry as he's got his arrow, just begins firing at anyone who's moving towards him, and keeping an eye on Sarah Henri, and keeping a very close eye on Ludo and Bellin. Bellin's turn.
Oh no.
I feel fine, Ludo. I feel... And he just starts crying out in pain like there's something inside of him, and he's just... it hurts so much! Ludo! Yandrame, your turn.
Oh no. Well, I guess I'm gonna take a swing at the bear.
At this point, Ludo has got Bellin like in a hold, like he's holding him as Bellin is just writhing in pain.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
Yandrame's turn. The bear is smelling this and just snarls and is moving, or the Beemon is moving around the campfire and just getting closer to Bellin and Ludo as Lestra is now standing in between them with her spear out.
Well, I'm going to run to try and hit the bear, I think, and like distract it again from them. Mm-hmm. So move closer and then take a swing. And likely miss. No, I rolled a 1.
Oh!
Woo! Oh, that's crit!
It's a crit. Now, is crit a thing in Symbaroum, Mitch? So what happens with a crit? This is our first critical roll in 5 hours of playing Symbaroum.
Let me pull up my combat reference sheet here.
I've never been so excited to roll a 1.
So happy for you. It's a nice change.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, so it's under special rules. That's what it is. Some players might seem appropriate for severe wounds to affect the change of success. For these groups, we recommend the following. Whenever a creature suffers damage that surpasses its pain rolled, it is given a second chance to fail all success tests.
Oh, is there not a crit?
There isn't actually a rule for crit. Yeah.
So critically damage is when you deal so much damage that you're higher than the pain threshold. So in this one, actually, the critical damage would happen in your damage roll.
It's the damage. It's got nothing to do with
So 1 is
crit.
great, but if you roll an 8 on your short sword, that could deal pain threshold levels of damage, and that would be a critical hit.
Right, where you get to roll another attack.
And that could actually then create that for the rest of the scene, the player is going to take a disadvantage to all of their attribute rolls, all their saving rolls.
Roll high for the love of Bob.
We believe in you.
That's just a 4.
It's a 4, that's 2 damage, though, that lands on him.
Hey, that's still something.
We'll take it.
Patron Saint. Ludo and Bellin are there. The bear is moving in. Lestra is looking over her shoulder and it's like, something's not right. And Godry has stopped shooting arrows into the crowd. He takes the arrow he had in the air in his bow away and he pulls from a second quiver a different looking kind of arrow with the arrowhead shining green in the light of the fire, and is now taking aim at Bellin and Ludo from his vantage point high up.
Uh-oh. Given Alindra's knowledge of abominations, does she have any suspicions about what's happening to Bellin right now? Is it like very obvious to anyone, or?
I think Verd would know for sure if they used their witch sight.
Yeah, I'll...
It's hard to tell if it's indigestion or some kind of, other sickness.
Yeah, this witchcraft, witch sight is free. I feel like he definitely at this time would take the temporary.
So you still need to roll Vigilant Discreet in an attempt to see the dominant shadow. Each such attempt forces the character to suffer 1 temporary corruption. So you need to roll a Vigilant Discreet.
What's the modifier?
So which one are you targeting to look at, Ludo or Bellin?
Ludo. He's the one who's...
Ludo's the one going, it's okay, something's wrong. Bellin's the one going, something hurts.
Guy. Yeah, let's figure out if it's indigestion.
All right, so you're rolling +3.
Oh, then I
they have no discretion.
Yeah. I get it.
The shadow that was moldy green with spots of growing darkness this morning is now oozing black and is thoroughly corrupted.
Yeah. Beard will yell out, he's turning into an abomination, and then look over at male Ambrian.
It's Patron Saint's turn.
Oh God.
He sighs heavily, and as far as he knows, that you can't come back from that, right? There's no one that has ever come back from being an abomination that's not a thing. So
No one who's ever
he still looks human.
Yeah.
You're just taking Vaird's word for it?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
He's just on the ground in pain. He hasn't changed yet. Vaird is just saying he's going to. We're almost out of time.
Out of time to do what? Are you sure?
Yes.
The elves know what to do.
This is your last chance to save everyone. Kill him. Kill him now.
I might not always agree with this barbarian, but he's generally been right. But so the patron saint is going to go stand between Ludo and...
Is it going to pull Ludo off
Yeah.
of Bellin and get Ludo to safety?
Yeah, it's going to pull him away.
It could be persuasive, but that's really low. So I'm just going to say for them, it's just going to be inaccurate. It's just going to be an accurate unarmed attack.
Right.
Basically just grab him from the scruff of his neck like pulling a cat.
What's the modifier?
For Ludo, there is no modifier.
Okay,
The
just
modifier
flat.
involves the shield that he's not using right now.
Right, because he's not. Okay. That's a 6, so yeah.
So you just grab Ludo, and Ludo's like, no, no! And he's just lifted up in the air by an invisible force and placed on the ground, and there's now space. The patron saint is standing between Ludo and Bellin. Elindra, Godrai has their arrows trained on Bellin. And Lestra is now turning to look at Ludo and Bellin and isn't as interested right now in, like, doesn't know what to, like, is the bear the threat or is Bellin the threat after what Verd just said?
Alindra was very clearly not super committed to hurting this bear.
Bellin, like, beads of sweat are going down their body and sores are opening up all over their skin.
Having heard what Verd says, having known the process of abominations by which they're created, Alindra is going to look at Bellin in terror and go to harm him, stab him with her pike.
Oh,
Snap!
Oh,
Yeah.
So it's just like before this transformation happens.
She wants to kill him. Oh, come on, make it cool. Let me hit.
Come on.
Do I have any modifiers to this?
With the patron saints standing where they are, I'll let you have a flanking bonus.
So what does that mean? I rolled a 14.
+2.
I miss. Oh no! It could have been cooler.
Well, no, actually, well, flanking adds another 2, right? So you need to roll 16 or
Oh,
under.
I did do that. I got a 14.
Oh, thank goodness. I just had to absolutely spoon feed
Yes,
that.
thank you. Thank you for giving it to me. And
a win is a win, folks.
Yes.
So hit the pike, 1d8 damage. Go for it.
Okay.
And plus 1d4 for advantage.
Yes.
Right, because I have that because I know these things. So it's a 2 of damage plus my 4. Which is,
So 1d8, 1d4?
yes, so that's 4 points of damage. We don't want him to turn into an abomination, she's gonna say as she goes for the jugular. She doesn't actually specifically go there, she goes wherever she can hit.
Face.
She ain't that good with her pike yet.
Your pike sinks into his belly and he cries out and then he grabs the pike
Oh god.
and he's holding it in his belly as blood is pouring out of his teeth and his grimace and his face are stretching further than a grimace should stretch. Ludo is like, no, that's my friend Bellin, don't do this! And he's trying to get through the patron saint, so he's going to just try and hit the patron saint. So patron saint, give me a defense roll. You're rolling 15 or under.
Oh,
18, he fails it.
He fails it. The patron saint lets Ludo deal 4 damage to him. Roll your armor, see how much you sync up.
3.
3. Yeah, so you take 1 point of damage. And the patron saint just stands in the way. Like, he'll take this hit. He'll keep Ludo safe.
Aw, patron saint. Patty.
Verd's turn. So the pike is sunk into Bellin's belly, and Bellin is gripping it, and you can see his skin is getting tighter, and the wounds are starting to spread and split across their body.
Oh god.
Yeah, Veerd is dropping his crossbow and he's racing towards female Ambrian to just kind of like push her out of the way. Like, get the heck out.
Oh, you're gonna push Elindra away from Bellin?
Yeah.
Okay. Elindra, are you gonna let that happen?
I mean, no, she's gonna try and resist it. She's trying.
Okay,
to
because if you're gonna let that happen, you would just roll for it. But if you're gonna roll to resist it, then Verd, you're rolling against
I'm not strong.
an accurate -3.
I got 5.
You just
You did it.
push her. Now, do you push her into the fire or do you push her? You just push her into one of the tents.
Yeah, like, oh, there you go. That solves that problem. No, just
Yeah, so you just come by shoulder in and just go, ugh. You just knock her out of the way.
yeah.
She's pretty flimsy, TBH.
You lose the grip of your pike
Yeah.
as the pike is still in Bellen's belly, and you just go flying away. Sarah and Ree's turn. Moving beside you, Verd. It doesn't move to attack. It moves up to Bellen, and you have an attack of opportunity to stop it from moving towards Bellen because it's moving past you, but it's not being threatening to you. It's moving to attack Bellen
Yeah.
and moving in with its claws.
Yeah, he's like, and when he tackled female Ambrian, he's who would have yelled out like, "It's too late, get back!"
So the Saren Ree gets on top of Bellen and just starts cutting into its claws. And as it's cutting, though, blood is not coming out of the wounds that are on Bellen's body.
Oh, gross.
Ooh.
Godry yells out to Saren Ree to fall back. It's too late. The change has begun. And he knocks his arrow and fires one into Bellen, and it lands in the center of his head. And the grimace continues, and the head falls back and peels away as another head reaches out of its neck, and its skin begins to unfold, and another body begins pulling itself out of Bellen's body, this one skinned and muscles showing off. And the head that pulls itself out of the neck that was Bellen's head is crowned in a thorn protruding from its skull, as muscles and sinew and a grimacing smile push itself out of Bellen's body. This towering creature with bare muscles, its fingers transformed into knives of bone that outgrow from the flesh. It's furious. It's famished.
This is fine. Everything's
It's fine. Fine. We're good. It's fine. We're all fine.
That's where we're going to end this episode.
Ooh, okay.
You wanted to see an abomination?
Yeah.
No, I love this. This is great.
This is amazing.
Ainsley is stoked. Lindra?
The Terrible Warriors return every Tuesday with new story episodes playing Symbaroum. And if you would like to know what Godry was whispering to Sarah and Ree in today's episode, the best way is to get your hands on Symbaroum's core rulebook and read it yourself. To help you on that quest, we're offering one lucky listener every month a free digital copy of Symbaroum. For more information, check the show notes or visit terriblewarriors.com. To learn more about Symbaroum, visit freeleaguepublishing.com. And if you like this show and you want to hear more, we exist only thanks to our continued supporters from our Patreon page at patreon.com/terriblewarriors. By becoming a supporter this season, you'll receive a special role in our Discord server to mark you as one of our own. By supporting just 2 trips on public transit each month, you'll also receive each new story episode from our Symbaroum campaign 1 week before everyone else. And for the cost of just 1 movie ticket, you can join our private tip club where I host virtual tabletop games for our tip club members every month. Your Terrible Warriors today have been Mitch Wallace, Sean Horbachuk, Ainsley Moores, and me, Justin Eacock. Editing and production is also by me. Music is licensed through Epidemic Sound. And next week on the Terrible Warriors, the elves and the caravan join sides to face against the harshest foe imaginable, Bellen Blightborn.